reflect the views of the American Council of the Blind, its elected officials, or its staff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Doing Braille Digitally for Saturday, March 22nd, 2025. I am your facilitator, Nikki, and I want to thank Desi for hosting. She hosted the very first Doing Braille Digitally call that we ever had, and I was so happy to see her hosting again today. Jane Suh is our streamer and the maintainer of all things Clubhouse for today, and I want to thank you, Jane. Today, we have a very, very special guest with us on the call, and I'm sure you will all have heard of him. And in fact, probably most of you are here because of his wonderful efforts at promotion, and that is David Goldfield. And I also want to mention, David, before we get started and kind of give you a little bit of a lead in here. Speaking of anniversaries, like Desi being the host today, as well as having been the host for our very first call, I guess you guys at Blazie Technologies just had a very recent important anniversary. Isn't that correct?
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Yeah, I'm a real technical person, right? Okay, sorry. I got several mute buttons and I had myself unmuted, but the mic was muted. So, so first, Nikki, thanks for inviting us to be back on the call. There is a possibility that Brian may be on the call, so I have my alerts disabled. So if he does come on, please let me know. And hopefully
I will. I have mine enabled, so I will hear it if he does.
Excellent. So yeah, Blazie Technologies just recently celebrated, really, it's this month, in the month of March. We have an anniversary where the BT Speak is 1 year old officially. It's been developed for longer than that. The development actually started 5 years ago, but it began shipping last March 7th to be exact. So that's when the first customers got them. And so this is our 1 year anniversary. So we added we've been coming out with updates since last March, on average, maybe once a month. In one instance, we actually had 2 updates in a month, but on average, we're pushing out updates every 6 to 8 weeks. But because this is a pretty big anniversary for us, we wanted to come out with an update with a lot of features. So we actually have more than the average amount of features in an update. Our updates already have a lot of features, but in this case, we have released an update with a lot more features than normal. And some of them will appeal very much to users of the Braille and Speak and the Type and Speak and even the Braille Lite, because there are some things that we added in those. So I don't know if you want me to start out by talking about those, but I certainly can do that if you want. One thing that we added was a one-handed mode for users who either only can type with one hand, or they might have 2 hands, but they might only have one good hand that they can use to type with, or they just might want the convenience of typing with one hand. This was a really important capability. I don't call it a feature, because a feature is something that, you can optionally do without maybe. One-handed mode is an accessibility tool. I would say it's a must-have. It's as much of a must-have as a screen reader is for us who can't see, right? Without that, we can't use our computers or other devices. So one-handed mode is absolutely essential for the people who needed it. We've had a lot of requests for it, and so we finally implemented that in the March update, or sometimes we call it the anniversary update. And we've also added a lot of improvements to Bluetooth connectivity. Now, we started adding those improvements in the January update. So, but we've worked on this significantly and made Bluetooth connections even smoother in the anniversary update. We also have something called append mode. Now, for people who may not be familiar with the Braille and Speak, this may seem like a bit of an odd feature. But if you're familiar with the Braille and Speak, this is probably going to be comfort food for you. So with append mode, what happens is as you type, everything that you type gets added or appended to the end of a document, as opposed to the typical behavior where everything you type gets added at the or inserted at the cursor position. That is still the default, by the way, so we have not removed that. And if that's what you're used to, then you can continue to do that with this update. But there's an option to enable append mode so that even if you are reading at the top of a document, you can write text and then your text will be appended to the very end of the file. This is how the Braille and Speak used to work by default. And so we added that in. We also have cursor tracking, which is another Braille and Speak feature where you can separate, and again, this is optional, you can separate the reading cursor from the writing cursor. So you can be reading in one place, excuse me, but as you type, what you type is appended to the end of a document. So that's cool if, let's say, you are interviewing someone and you have a text file with lines of text that says name, address, city, state, and you want to add that information to the end of the document. So with cursor tracking off, when it says name, you can type your name, but you'll still be on the line that says name, and the name that you type will be added or appended to the end of the document. Again, this is all optional. These are things that you have to turn on if you need them. You can also open files now by entering a number, similar to the way you did with the Braille and Speak. So you can enter, you can press J chord for jump, and then you can enter A through J to enter files 1 through 10, or you can, A through Z to enter files 1 through 26, or 1 through 0 to enter files 1 through 10. There are also commands to jump to the previous or next file, and we also have improved the ability to have multiple files open, and those files can not only stay open, but they can remember your place in each file, and this is true even when you turn the unit off or restart the unit. So you can have 50 files open, and you can be in different places in different files, which of course is totally reasonable, and when you turn the BT Speak off and on, you are right back where you were. We added the ability to spell the current word or spell it phonetically, like dog is D-O-G or Delta Oscar Golf. And you can do the same thing with, say, character phonetically. If you press .36 chord twice, you can hear the phonetic equivalent of the character Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, that sort of thing. We also improved the find and replace so that everything is really accessible and talking the way that you want. You can find in a forward direction, you can find in a backward direction. So we've really made a lot of improvements to find as well as find and replace. You can jump to a specific line and character in a document. You can now select multiple files in the file browser for deletion. So if you want to delete 6 files at once, you can select them, press D for delete, and it says, hey, do you want to delete these selected files? Well, it doesn't say, hey, I kind of took some liberties, but you know what I mean. And you can say yes. The calculator has been improved. Steve Clower has done a lot of work on that. So one of the things that you can do is you can navigate up through the list of previous calculations. If you want to recalculate them or edit them, you can do that. You can also, by the way, do that in the find command. So if you want to look at the history of previous things that you have entered, you can do that as well. We also added an hourly time announcement. A lot of devices have that, but that's another nod to the Braille and Speak. So you can have the time spoken on the hour, or chimed on the hour, or spoken and chimed. And you can also set quiet hours. So you might say, well, I do want to hear the time throughout the day, but I want it to stop starting at 11 p.m. and then resume at 8 a.m. Just as an example, you can now set those quiet hours. You don't have to manually turn the time announcement off when you go to bed and turn it back on when you wake up. We also are adding preliminary support. Well, I'm sure we'll be improving this, but we have preliminary support for the Italian and Brazilian Portuguese languages for those who speak them or who need the BT Speak to speak in those languages. And we also do have Spanish and German already. So those are some of the things that we added in the anniversary update. And we are working on an April update as we speak. So that's what I can tell you about the BT Speak. And of course, if people want more information beyond what you hear on this call, you are free to go to www.blazietech, that's BLAZIETECH.com, that's blazietech.com. We've updated our FAQ page, that's frequently asked questions for those who may not know that acronym. And we've updated the page containing our list of applications. So if you want to know more about the different applications that are on the BT Speak, you can read all about those. We also have our manual available for download. We have our Getting Started audio tutorial available for download, and the Getting Started text guide available for download as well. I believe all of the help files are also available to download. So we really want to give all of our documentation away for people who may be customers and who just want a convenient way to download it. But definitely for people who are not yet customers, who are curious about it, we want you to have as much documentation as we've produced. And so it is all available on our website. If there's anything that is missing or something that you can't find, please reach out to us. And you can reach out to us, by the way, at support@blazie.net. That's support@blazie.net. And I also want to briefly remind people who haven't heard, or inform people who haven't heard and remind people who have heard, that we have a contest where we are inviting people to send us audio recordings. They don't have to be videos. They can be audio recordings, just around 5 minutes in length, explaining maybe some different or unique or interesting ways that you use your BT Speak. And we're accepting submissions up to the end of March. And the winner will have their submission posted to our website, and we will also send them a Tozo Bluetooth headset, which they can use with their BT Speak or probably any other Bluetooth device that they want to connect it to. And you can send audio submissions to us at the email address info, I-N-F-O, @blazie.net. That, of course, is BLAZIE. For those who are on Mastodon, and I recognize a few people who are, we are on Mastodon with the handle @BlazietechTech. BLAZIETECH, at tweezecake.social. We're pretty active on there. I'm primarily the one who posts responses and promotions and other info from that account. And I think I've given all of our contact info. If anyone wants to call us, either for support or just general inquiries, you can do that at 772-214-1616. And I think that's all I've got. Nikki, if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them to the extent that I can. Otherwise, we can go to raised hands. I don't know if Brian has jumped on the call.
He has not. We do have Ben has come. I don't know if possibly he is in Brian's stead or not, but I know he works with you guys. So.
Oh yeah, Ben Blatchford is our tech support person. I am actually not tech support. I do take support calls, and I do respond to people on Mastodon and on the list. But Ben really is our official support person. And so if you have a problem or question about how do I do this or that on the BT Speak, Ben is likely the one that you'll be talking to on the phone.
Okay. So I don't know if he has anything he would like to add. But if not, we can see if there are any questions or raised hands.
Yes, hi guys. This is Ben. How's everyone doing today? Is everyone doing good?
Yeah, we're great.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to thank thank David for that introduction. And yes, if you call support, if you press 2 for support, this is I will be the one who you'll be talking to. If you have questions related to anything related to desktop mode applications, I am our Thunderbird expert, and so and also obviously other things as well. But if anyone has any questions for either me or David, don't hesitate to raise your hand. And you can also obviously, like David said, give us a call or email us. We also have a groups.io mailing list. I don't know if David already mentioned that, but
He did not actually.
I did not, and shame on me for not doing it. I was going to and then totally forgot, so thank you.
Yes. We have a BT Speak
no chocolate for me.
Mailing list for support and also for just general general questions regarding. You can subscribe to that by and if I get this wrong, you can come and yap at me later, David. But to subscribe to that, I believe yes it is making this wrong, but it is it's BT Speak, so that's BTSPEAK -subscribe.
It's actually plus subscribe.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Plus subscribe. Too many dashes and pluses to keep track of. Anyway, so it's BT Speak plus subscribe at groups.io.
Yep, it's a pretty active. Thanks, Ben. I do appreciate the reminder because I was going to mention it and I was going through all the contact info and then it just totally slipped away.
We do have a hand.
Sure.
Mickey Quinzer.
Hey, Mickey.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to everybody, and I'm a owner of a BT Speak, and what I really like about it is there's always a surprise here and there that you didn't know it was there until you just played with something. And so that's how I learned. And I really am really enjoying and LC Media Player. I always say that wrong. And can't wait to see developments. And I really do appreciate all the hard work. You guys have done a lot of work with updates, and it's just been a real good time for me to use this and get used to it. And there's so much more now that you can do with the BT Speak than the Braille and Speak. Though the Braille and Speak was my favorite as I was growing when I was younger and growing up, or however you want to put it. So I really appreciate you guys and can't wait to see what the Braille display is going to be like. Thank you.
I agree with you, Mickey. Actually, when I was in 1989 or 90, I had been using a very clunky VersaBraille, and it was the cassette model. And that lid was so hard to take on and put on and take off. And it would fall. It would easily drop because it was so heavy to carry. And then I saw the Braille and Speak, and I was able to get one and use it for my classes. And I was like, oh my goodness, this thing is way easier to deal with.
Yeah.
And of course, it didn't have Braille, but it had a headset jack. So I just used an earplug with it.
And by the way, I also started out with that same model. It was the VersaBraille P2C, and did a lot of writing and going on bulletin boards with that. And then I sold that and got a Braille and Speak in 1989. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Okay, Chanel has her hand up.
Hey, Chanel.
Hello. Now, I have a question, and I'm not sure if I was reading things wrong or anticipating or whatever, but did I hear that you're coming out with a BT Braille? And if so, what is that going to be like? Speaking of, I had a Braille and Speak in school. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I know, and then I had a voice note and then a Braille note. My favorite was the Braille Note PK. Right now I use the Brilliant BI20X, and I love that display. So I love small displays. So I was just curious. I mean, it would be nice sometimes to have the 40 cells, but I was just curious if, did I hear right? Is there something called a BT Braille coming out?
You did hear correctly, and it is coming out. It is not out yet, so we don't. It's not shipping, and we don't have any prices that have been determined. What I can tell you is that it's going to be a device with all of the features and the software of the BT Speak. So everything that you've been hearing and reading about the BT Speak is going to be in this device, but it is also going to have a Braille display. The first model will have a 20-cell Braille display. Yes, it will have cursor routing. And shortly after that, and shortly is a relative term, it's not going to happen simultaneously, but at some point after that, there will be a 40-cell model, and it's going to be called the BT Braille. So we're hoping to get it out soon. I know that Brian is working on it really, really hard. Every time I talk to him, I hear more about what's going on with that product and where we are with it. So he's working really hard to get that together, and so we can get it out the door, because people really want essentially a BT Speak type product with a Braille display. And that's what this is going to be. Although I don't want to call it a BT Speak with a Braille display, because there are going to be differences. So it's not just a BT Speak that we stuffed a Braille display into. As I say, it will have all of the BT Speak features, but it's going to have cursor routing. There'll be some navigation buttons to the left and right of the display. There will perhaps be a second USB port. It's going to run on a faster processor, so it's going to be faster as far as performance than the BT Speak that is out today. It will probably have more storage, and it will likely possibly have a headphone jack. So that's why I say that this is not just a BT Speak with a Braille display. It's going to be a whole separate product, but it will have all of the features of the BT Speak, and any features that the BT Speak gets will also be in the BT Braille. Again, we don't have prices set for this product at this time. So, and I know a lot of people are asking us, can they upgrade their BT Speak? Is there an upgrade path? And there will be. We don't know the price for that either, but there will be an upgrade path so that if someone has a BT Speak and is willing to part with it for a BT Braille, there will be an option for doing that. Blazie Engineering always did that with their Braille products for people who wanted to upgrade a Braille and Speak to a Braille Lite. So we'll be doing something similar.
All right, we do have another hand.
Oh, good.
Nicole?
Hey, Nicole.
Yes, I was coming on. I'm on a landline, so a little harder to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
So my question is, I'm still not decided just because of the price discrepancy, potentially whether I will be investing in a BT Braille, but I'm seriously considering it. So my question for you then would be, are you also going to be offering a case, and what would be the size differential between that and the existing BT Speak?
Oh, there will certainly be a case, a carrying case for it. Now, it may not come with it, just like we have a carrying case now for the BT Speak that does not ship with it, although it can be ordered along with it for people who are thinking of ordering it. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to have a similar case. It's been a while since I've seen the 20 cell model, so I would not, it's going to be a little bit bigger, but we're hoping to still keep it as small as possible. Obviously, because of the Braille display, it's going to be a little bit bigger than a BT Speak. That's one of the really nice things about a BT Speak. It's very, very compact, and it's very small. So, we call it a pocket computer because you could literally put it in many pockets. I'm not sure you're going to be able to put a BT Braille in the same amount of pockets, but it's still going to be very small and very portable.
May I suggest that as you are designing the case, I know that you're working with Turtleback in that, in all likelihood, may I suggest that as you're designing the case that all of the ports, especially any ports on the back side, be left exposed?
Oh, they will be.
Excellent.
They absolutely will be. I'll insist on it, and they are with the BT Speak. All the ports on the back of the BT Speak are definitely available in the case, and the power switch, or power button, I should say, is available in the case. So you can pretty much do everything that you need to with the BT Speak while it's in the case. I rarely take it out of my case at all. And that would certainly be true with the BT Braille. I don't see any reason why that would change.
Then this is so exciting. I'm, seriously hoping to upgrade. So.
Very cool.
All right. Excuse me. Next, we have Carla.
Hey, Carla.
Hey, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay. I had a Braille light back in the 90s. In fact, I named my devices. His name was Bertram the Braille light. And unfortunately, Bertram died. But, I can sort of, tease him into working when I plug him in, but he loses everything.
Mhm.
But my question is, how will the BT Braille compare as far as, like, one thing I liked about Bertram is he had the smart calendar. You could ask him how many days till Christmas, what day it was of the year, like it's day number 364 or whatever,
Mhm.
And that's one feature that I loved. And I was wondering if you could give me a comparison of what features would, would be there and absent as far as the previous Braille and Speaks. I know there's going to be some new features, and I do understand that. But in terms of comparing, say, old Bertram with the BT Braille, are there any of the legacy features that are going to be missing or enhanced, or that's sort of what I want to know. And I do understand that we've come a long way in the new features that you have. And also, will German be added? And also, can you make macros for universal foreign language character sets? And can you print from it? Can you print from the BT Braille, BT Speak? I know that's a lot of questions, but those are the things that
Yeah. So let's just. I don't mean to stop you, but you've asked a lot of questions, so I want to make sure I get to them, because otherwise I'm going to forget one of them. So remember that the BT Braille, even though it is a new product that's not even shipping yet, remember that anything that is in the BT Speak, as far as its features and its software, is almost surely going to be in the BT Braille. Just like all of the Braille and Speak features made it into the Braille Lite. It was very similar software. So that being said, the BT Speak already has a smart calendar, which behaves just like the Braille and Speak and the Braille Lite did. So yeah, you can still find out what day, not just what day is it, but what day number is it. Like, January 1st is day number 1, and January 2nd is day number 2. So you could find that out. Or, as you say, you could find out what day is it going to be on Easter or Christmas of this year by entering a future date, or by entering a past date to find out what day it was on a certain date. So you can already do that on the BT Speak. So you will be able to do that on the BT Braille from day one. I can tell you that. Can you print from it? Yes, you can. Again, you can print from a BT Speak, so you will be able to print from a BT Braille. There is a print command. Obviously, unlike the Braille Lite, we don't have settings to set serial or parallel ports. It's all USB, but you will be able to do it. We had a customer who did successfully print, and he mentioned it on our support list. So you can do that. German is in the BT Speak, so it will be in the BT Braille. All of the languages that are in the BT Speak should be imported and become a part of BT Braille. So that includes right now German and Spanish, and the preliminary support for Italian and Brazilian Portuguese, and hopefully, probably by the time the BT Braille comes out, that support won't be preliminary anymore. It'll hopefully be a little more robust than it already is. So you'll have around 4 additional languages other than English. And unlike the Braille Lite and the Braille and Speak, you don't have to download a language or switch to a language with certain commands where you could only have 1 or 2 languages. You can switch to any of these and switch back to English very quickly in the locale settings. And you asked about macros. Right now, there are no macros even in the BT Speak, but this is something that we've definitely had requests for. So I don't know where it is on our roadmap. I can tell you it's not going to be in the next update, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's in a future update at some point, because there are a lot of people who want it, and I think we can do it. Not only that, I think we could make them even better and add more functionality to them than we did have in the Braille and Speak and the Braille Lite. So I think I've gotten to all your questions, but if I've forgotten one, let me know.
Yeah, you have it. Can you do multiple languages in one document? Say, have a universal key that'll do e-acute, whether it's French, Spanish, or German, because none of the modern note takers let you do that as well, you know. I have
Right.
documents as a technical translator where I'll have columns and I might have 3 or 4 languages and columns that I can't get into one document.
It does not do that as far as I'm aware. There may be a way of doing that, but what we don't have is language switching. What you would want is not just the ability to write it, but the ability to switch to it. So if I have one paragraph that is in Spanish and the rest of the document is in English, ideally what you want is not only to be able to write in those characters, but, to do what you can do in Word and say, okay, this paragraph, mark it up as this is Spanish. And if you have a Spanish voice, then it actually switches to that voice. This is something that other screen readers can do. I know JAWS can do it with Word and on the web. And that's something that right now we don't do, but I understand the need for it. And it's something that we do need to add.
All right, we do have a couple more hands. I'm going to take Ben next because he has his hand up, and then that he will be followed by iPhone 3.
Thanks. That's what is going on here. Sorry, my phone is yapping away. I just wanted to add that for the printing is concerned, we also have, in addition to USB, we also have wireless printing as well.
Oh yes, thank you.
And so you can connect your if your printer if your printer has Wi-Fi, as wireless capable as Wi-Fi, and you're on the same Wi-Fi number, because the printer, it will show up in the print file option in the editor menu. So.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I mentioned USB printing, but you're right. I did not mention wireless printing.
All right, iPhone 3. You can go ahead and unmute.
Hi, this is Paris.
Hello, Paris.
Hey. I have 2 questions. I wanted to be just speaking the amazing device in the market right now. I think the best device in modern technology we have since all the other devices we have seen in the competition. It's just amazing. Updates every month. It's so good, so good. A lot of cool stuff. I have a question. Is the BT Speak going to be supported even after the BT Braille comes out? That's what my biggest question would be. How are you guys planning to do that? If you guys can talk about that. Basically, yeah.
Yep, most definitely. Most definitely. Just like for those who remember Blazie engineering, I realize some don't and some do. When the Braille Lite came out in 1993, and then the Braille Lite 40 in, I think it was 95, we not only continued to support the Braille and Speak, but we continued to provide updates for it. The last update for the Braille and Speak came out in 2002 for all of the devices. So updates for the Braille and Speak never stopped. And in fact, we came out with a new Braille and Speak model, I believe in 1996 or 97, which was the Braille and Speak 2000, concurrently while we were still supporting the Braille Light 18 and 40 cell models. So we have no intention of discontinuing support for the BT Speak. Not at all. So anybody who has a BT Speak who, for whatever reason, isn't going to get a BT Braille, you are still going to be just as supported then as you are now.
Along that line, really quickly, David, I was going to say this before, and I don't want to take away from any hands, but
No.
since the BT list, speak list is in operation, you might not even know the answer to this yet. Are you just going to keep that list for all things Blazie, or are you going to actually have a BT Braille list too?
Oh boy, that is a question I haven't thought of because, yeah, the list is technically called BT Speak.
Exactly.
My guess is we will, I think a lot of it depends. If we get a huge amount of BT Braille sales and questions, we could have a separate list for that. But I think the likelihood is that we're just going to combine them into the one list, and we may rename the list to, BT Support instead of BT Speak. Because, yeah, you're right. The BT Braille will be coming out. And the other thing that is on the roadmap are QWERTY versions of these products.
Oh,
Now,
something about that.
yeah, I know people are going to want to know more about that. We don't even have names for them yet. And we don't have prices. We don't have timelines. But what you will eventually see, hopefully, is a QWERTY version of the BT Speak. Maybe a BT Speak QWERTY, or I don't think we would call it the QT Speak because we don't want to take away from the BT name, and then everybody will make fun of it and call it the QT product. But there will be a QWERTY version of that, and we would hope that there would eventually be a QWERTY version of the BT Braille. So that's a really good question. That's something that we're internally going to have to decide, but my guess is we're probably just going to combine all of the products in one list.
Okay, we got 5 hands, so we're going to move along here, and Mary Beth is next.
Hey, Mary Beth.
Hello. Hi. Thanks so much for your presentation. Just have a real quick question about the BT Braille. Will it also be able to function as a Braille display? Not a deal breaker question, but just a question. Thank you.
You mean a Braille display for another computer, iPhone, or screen reader?
Yeah, exactly.
We hope so. We would like to see that happen, and that is the goal, and that is our desire to do that. Will it do it on day one? I wouldn't want to commit to that because part of what will be needed are the screen reader developers to implement support. So we're going to have to interface with those developers and do what we need to do to make that happen. I think that's going to take some time as well, and we need to get the product in a state that they'll be able to even do that. But I think it is an important feature. Sure.
All right, Scott Edwards is next.
Hey, David, maybe call it the BTQ Speak and BTQ Braille QWERTY versions. Just a thought. But my question had to do with printing. I was kind of curious. I know in the old, I seem to recall in the Braille and Speak days, you had margin settings that you could set. I seen it said like for a 1-inch margin around the page, have it set to so many characters per line and lines per page. I haven't found anything like that in the BT Speak. So my guess is that it just defaults to a standard, or it simply dumps the text out to the printer, and the printer settings take care of the margin, proper page formatting and the like. Is that
Yeah,
basically
I think
true?
right now that's how it works, but I mean, to your point, we really should look
It's that,
into what we need to do to add
yes.
margins.
And also
Margin settings, I should say.
for embossing purposes, like sending to a Braille embosser. That would come in
Yes. At the moment, what I would recommend for that is to set all of the settings on your embosser.
Right. That's probably
for the moment. But yeah, we do need to look into adding those.
Okay. That's pretty much all I had. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin is next.
There, can you hear me? I hope.
We can.
Okay, fantastic. Hi, David. I bug you all the time on Mastodon, and also want to do a shout out to my old coworker, Mickey Quinzer. Hi, Mickey. Anyways, I had a quick question about I live here in Canada, and how to get the BT Speaks in Canada, and would there be a consideration of payment plans for Canadians?
So I know that you have brought this up on Mastodon, and I have conveyed this to the team. So is PayPal payments not available for Canadians? Is that correct?
PayPal payments are available. I'm not sure about payment plans. I haven't looked into that. So
well, that's what I mean. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because PayPal, if you order from our website and choose PayPal, they will. I don't want to say they will often. They will sometimes, and I don't know what determines this, but you may get offers to pay in installments, either in 4 months or 6 months, and we obviously don't control that because that is a function of PayPal, but we did implement PayPal as a payment option for that reason.
Okay. I will go look at it.
Yeah, check it out. Go on our website and, put it in your cart. It doesn't mean you have to order it if you're not able or ready to do that, but put it in your cart and choose the PayPal checkout option, and then see if you get an option to pay in installments, because it may allow for that.
Okay, and the other suggestion I would have as well is I don't know if you could do this, but set up an Amazon store, because then I know a firm works here in Canada as well. So,
okay, yep. I've already passed on your suggestions about a firm to the team. I know they were going to look into that to see if that was doable.
I will stop pestering you now. Thank you.
No worries. It's not a problem at all. It's always good to hear from you. It's good to put a voice to the name, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
It is, and I follow you on Mastodon too, Martin. So it's kind of nice to, yeah.
Hi.
Bye.
All right. Excuse me. Next, we have Michael.
Oh, okay. Can I be heard?
You can.
Okay. David, we've talked about this a little, but I just wanted to bring it up again. It's actually, I would say, almost the reverse of Mary Beth's question, and that is eventual support for third-party Braille displays, as in, say, pairing the BT Speak to them with a Bluetooth and having them work similar to a BT Braille.
I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm hoping that as the BT Braille is developed, that kind of support for third-party Braille displays would be developed simultaneously. As an different topic, for those in the United States, anyway, I was able to get my BT Speak on PayPal, paying it off over a year. I got the BT Speak with the case, and I'm paying $118 a month. That was the only reason I was able to get one. So just thought I'd let people know that too. Thank you much.
Yeah, so what I can tell you about Braille support is it's partially there already. And what I mean by that is that the BT Speak currently has 2 modes. There's a traditional mode where you get to our editor and all of the apps that we've developed. And then there is what we call a desktop mode, where you can access more standard apps like Thunderbird for email and Firefox and Chromium and LibreOffice. In the desktop mode, it should work with a Braille display because the desktop mode is using the Orca screen reader. Where we have a problem is in what we call the traditional mode, where you're accessing, the Blazie apps. And that is something that we need to improve. And I think there is a reasonable possibility that as the BT Braille is developed and Braille display support is perfected for that device, that could spill over for BT Speak users who want to interface it with a Braille display.
That's what I'm hoping. Thank you.
Yeah, and Ben, did you have a comment?
Before we go, Nikki,
yeah.
we're beyond the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, I see that. And actually, Dorlin isn't here, so we're just going to keep it going. So
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ben, did you have a comment about the whole Braille display support thing? I know you started to say something about that.
Yes, yes, and you pretty much said what I was going to say. Also, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe the PayPal is subject to credit approval. That's
Yes.
as far as that's what I know. So it's not gonna, it's not an automatic. You're not gonna have the option automatically. It's subject to credit approval. So for the installments, I just wanted to clarify that in case people didn't know that. So yeah.
Yep, that's totally reasonable. Yeah, I could see that.
Okay, Jack.
Okay, and I wanted to announce this one, David, because this is the guy that actually reproduced that Blazie BPS I told you about a year ago. And so be prepared for anything.
Okay.
Hello, I would like to politely demand that you make me the default device for the BT Braille, okay?
So for those who might not have understood that was a that was a Braille and Speak voice that said, "Hello, I would like to politely demand that you make me the default voice for the BT Braille." We actually have had a few requests for that original Braille and Speak voice to be on the BT Speak. It is not going to happen. Not because we don't like the voice, but that voice was on a hardware chip, and there's no software equivalent to that. So it's the same reason why we can't have accent or double talk or the echo. It just isn't possible.
Okay, Mickey has his hand up again.
Yeah, sorry. Quick thing is, I get to talk to Ben again next week. That's going to be the fun part because I can see my printer. Okay, let me start over. I have a network, and my network can see the printer, but it doesn't do anything when I try to print to it. Don't worry about it.
I don't mean to be to interrupt, but I don't think we can really solve a support question.
No,
on
I was
going to
say
like
that's where I was going to go. And we'll talk about that. What I mostly wanted to get back on the phone about is that there's one of the really neat things that I've been able to do with the BT Speak is to be able to you were talking about editing files, and somebody on the list kind of brought up, well, can you is there some kind of an app switcher? And in a sense, the ability to switch between so many files is sort of an implementation of an app switcher, only for the app, files, but it's an example of something that could come in the future. So I just thought I'd mention that because people don't realize, in a way, what that really means to be able to zoom around to different files really quickly and do things with them. I haven't experimented with copying between and things like that, but I really like that feature. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
Yeah, thanks.
And we're at 5 minutes till the top of the hour.
Test 1 page Braille file. Help is open.
All right, can we,
anyone with a question?
There are no further hands at the moment.
Well,
but of course, as soon as I say that, one will probably pop up.
Probably, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's always the way. Well, I just want to first, Nikki, thank you for inviting us back on. And I just want to thank everybody for their questions and their feedback. Please continue to give us feedback about things you'd like to see. And you could write to us at info@blazie.net. And we'll be glad to receive that. And again, our website is blazitech.com. So I guess this is a good time to end if there aren't any last minute questions.
Or comments
yeah. So thanks for having us on. And
thank you.
Thanks everybody for joining.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I just thank you for having me on. And again, if anyone else has any questions, our support email, our info@blazie.net. You can also call us at 772-214-1616 for any support inquiries you may have.
Nikki, we do have one hand. Do you want to take it? It's Caroline.
Let's take Caroline, please.
Yes. David, are you still here? Or did he?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. Just wanted to follow up with the Canadian PayPal situation, and it does not allow on the Canadian side to do payment plans.
Just wanted to pass that on as an FYI. Good to know.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you for letting us know.
I will check Google Pay later, and I'll let you know, David, what I find out, but PayPal does not work.
Please let me know. And that's helpful to know. Obviously, I'm not in Canada.
Right.
I guess I could switch my VPN to Canada and see what it does. I never thought of that. But yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to thank you again, David. Thank you, Ben, for being here. It's great that you were able to come on and play tag team with David there and pinch hit a little bit.
No problem.
It's great to meet you. And I've known David for a long time, but it's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Desi, for hosting.
Of course.
Thank you, Jane, for streaming and doing the trifecta. All of you can reach me at doingbrailledigitally@gmail.com. If you have any kind of presentation about a Braille display you'd like to do or any other digital Braille product, we would love to have you on the call. Be sure to check out our other community Braille calls. We have Braille Together later on at 6 p.m. I was hoping Dorlin would stop by to tell us what was happening there, but she didn't, and I haven't gotten to look at the schedule yet. And then there's the Braille rooms tomorrow night to help you with any Braille issues that you have.
And Caroline does have her hand up again, so I don't know.
Okay, go ahead, Caroline.
No, I didn't. It was an accident. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So anyway, those are what we have coming up. And I Love Braille is on Thursday, so at noon. So thank you all for joining me.